Good morning, Bulldog fans. Good afternoon if you're listening sometime this afternoon, but welcome back to our regularly scheduled programming. Monday morning talk with Coach James Armstrong, Bully Soccer Bites. As always, Coach, good morning. How you doing?
Good, Chris. How you doing? Did you have a good weekend?
Had a great weekend. Got to spend it. Thought it was going to be, we spoke last week about it was going to be a high of 80, low of 60, but that cold front came in. It wasn't nearly as fun as it was, but luckily I get to call it from the booth on Saturday. You had to brave the elements for 110 minutes. So what did you think about that match on Saturday, Coach?
Disappointed not to get the 3 points, playing at home. We felt we had chances to win the game. We executed the game plan pretty well throughout. We just kind of let our concentration slip on their goal, although I think it was offside. And then we rallied to get a goal back. Great goal from Oni. Great service from KK Pavette. And then we pushed for the winner. Couldn't ask any more of the girls. I think they literally crawled off the field. There was a lot of sore bodies on Sunday when we saw them at treatment. So in terms of the intensity and the grit that they put into the game, we couldn't have asked any more. So 1 point, obviously we'll have to take it, but disappointed not to get the 3.
Coach, we talk a lot about your style. You're in year 2 here. You're building a program. You're building where the program you came in, they play a certain style of soccer, not one you're used to, and you have implemented your style of soccer, and it's become really enjoyable to watch. Watching that match on Saturday, Mizzou played probably the opposite style of soccer that you look to play. When you play a match like that, is it tough talking to the team and saying, hey, we got to play our style of soccer and not get lulled into what they want to do? And how do you prepare for a style that's a lot different than one you're used to?
Yeah, I mean, you got to give credit to Mizzou. They've Coach Blitz has been there a long time, been very successful. They do what they do, and they do it very, very well, and they're very effective at it. Well coached at it. Just soccer's great because you do sometimes get contrasting styles, and Mizzou clearly want to impose their style on us, just like we want to impose our style on them. And it makes it more difficult with the high press and, dealing with a lot of balls in the air. Something we trained throughout the week. We did well at times and we didn't do well at other times. I think there were moments in the game where we played the way we want to play. And then unfortunately there were times where we did become a little bit panicked in possession and gave the ball away too easily, So for us, we just want to continue to know who we are and what our identity is, and try and get the players to execute it more consistently. But when we do, we look good. When we don't, that's when we struggle a little bit, and you're going to come across different styles throughout the SEC. That's what makes it great. But, Mizzou's, like I said, they're well coached and great at what they do. And we managed to get some rhythm and flow at certain times, and we look better because of it.
You speak about trying to build the program and get there. You had 8 freshmen play significant minutes Saturday. 44% of your total minutes went to freshmen on Saturday. Talk about getting used to that stuff. There's growing pains involved. And how tough is it, and how impressive was it for your freshmen to step in and play almost half of the total minutes in a match like that so late into an SEC season when they're still kind of getting their legs under them and seeing what an SEC tournament, SEC conference play really is like?
Yeah, it's really tough for the freshmen, and I think you go back to COVID, right? And it's not been a normal freshman year, even socially, right? That they came in the summer, couldn't do certain things, couldn't work out, but in small groups. You can't have any social events like team dinners or things like that. They can't go over to the upperclassmen's apartments and all those kind of things. So the freshman class has done a really good job of dealing with that, and the team has as a whole, and integrating themselves into the culture. And then the other piece with COVID is usually the freshmen get the chance to bed themselves in with some non-conference opponents, and not that non-conference is ever easy, but it gives you a little bit of a breather sometimes to get players in gradually. With the shortened season and going straight into SEC play, the intensity is just through the roof. And our freshmen have done a really, really good job of preparing themselves mentally, physically, and tactically for that challenge. And yeah, playing 8 this past game was really really impressive from their standpoint. We talked about depth, and right now we're having to go through depth. So we need a lot of the freshmen to step up, and that's what they've been doing. So really proud of that group so far, and obviously it's really optimistic, provides a lot of optimism for the future.
I don't really want to single a lot of them out, but it's been impressive watching KK Pavette grow over the course of the year. I know we spoke about her when we had the signing day show, and you expect a lot out of KK, and it seems like she's getting better every match. Talk about that goal, huh? Everyone saw the goal, and Oni's such an impressive goal scorer, but that was a beautiful pass by KK and a great game for her as a whole as well.
Yeah, KK's a special talent, and I think she's had some really good moments. And then, just like a lot of freshmen, she's had a little bit of inconsistency at times, and she's really growing. She had her best week at practice going into the game. I thought this was by far her best game. If you look at it throughout the course of the whole time that she was on. And KK can score goals and she can provide assists like she did. And that ball was an incredible ball. She literally put it on Oni's head, and, Oni just had to run through it, and from that standpoint, really proud of KK and looking forward to her kicking on this week and throughout the rest of the season.
We spent the last few minutes talking about the freshmen, but it was senior night. And, seniors been banged up, 3 seniors, 2 in particular played some gritty minutes for you. Chris Malbranch in the back and Olivia Hernandez kind of all over the pitch a little bit. So how impressive is that for seniors, maybe not having the year they want, but just coming in and grinding for you and providing you important minutes in a 110-minute match like that is extremely physical.
Yeah, senior day, all of the seniors did a great job. Like AK Ward couldn't play, but she's an integral part of what goes on off the field. She's always putting an arm around people, helping the midfield players understand their roles and their responsibilities. So she did a great job there. And, Liv Hernandez has struggled a little bit with injuries in recent weeks. She came in and, probably wasn't 100%, but did unbelievable in the job that we asked her to do for the minutes that she was required of her. And then Chris, Chris has probably been banged up her whole career. She had an injury against A&M and really pushed hard to be available for this game. And, she's the leader of the group and did an unbelievable job in managing that back line, who I thought were all phenomenal. So really proud of those guys. And, we can't underestimate what they've done, over the time that they've been here, both from a culture standpoint, but also on the field. We're really proud of them. And like we've said in the interviews, we challenged them to leave the jersey in a better place, and all 3 of them have absolutely done that. So really happy that they, they've been got to be an integral part of the tie this weekend.
We're looking at kind of a short week with the match on Friday after playing Saturday night. Let's look forward to the match against South Carolina in Columbia. Coach, you can just look at their last results, 5 consecutive wins. What are we expecting out of South Carolina other than an extremely formidable opponent?
Yeah, South Carolina is definitely historically one of the best teams over the course of the last few years. I think Coach Smith just got her 300th win against Florida this past weekend, which is, a credit to her and her staff. South Carolina are going to be really well organized. They're always good defensively. They've got a number of young players that are playing significant minutes for them and doing a really good job scoring goals. So, we're excited to go to another, great place to go and play soccer and play against a really good team. And we're going to have to be at our best. And girls are going to have to work really hard this week in training. But we're excited about the challenge. And we think that we can absolutely cause them some problems at our end.
Coach, you spoke about the South Carolina coach getting to win 300. I feel like every time I look at the game notes, there's a coach in the league who's going – Coach Blitz is still looking for win 250 he's at 249. A bunch of coaches, Coach Hoppa, Coach Burley at Florida. It seems Coach G at A&M. Is it kind of intimidating? How does it feel, in a year 2, already with 10 wins under your belt, but you still got 290 more to go to catch up to some of the greats in the league. But you're sharing the sideline in such a conference. How cool is that to see such successful coaches in this conference?
Yeah, we talk about it. The SEC is the best conference in the country in our minds, So in order to go out there, we've got to prepare our team as best we can. And we feel we've got the staff to do just that. We'll go toe-to-toe with anyone. We might not have the number of wins that everybody else does, but got a ton of knowledge. We've got a team that's really bought into what we're trying to do. We love the group that we're working with. They're getting better each and every day. They work incredibly hard, so I wouldn't want to go and play against anybody else, other than the staff that I've got and with the team I've got. So, I've got a long way to go to match the wins of some of the names that you mentioned, but looking forward to the challenge of doing that.
Speaking of the depth of the conference, you can only put so much into the preseason poll, but it picked you 11th, Mizzou 12th. If those are teams in the bottom half, middle third of the league, it's just extremely impressive. And I don't know how there could possibly be 10 teams better than both of you in the conference, but how tough is it? I feel like the SEC as a whole, you look down the schedule, not many teams in the league can go into a match saying, here's 3 points. So how tough is it to stay in the middle and try to climb to the top of the table? I know you don't look much at it, but we're getting to a point where we're going to have to start talking about it soon. So how tough is it to really, get the team focused match by match as opposed to look big picture when you don't know when your next win or your next tie can come in a conference this good?
Yeah, every game's a challenge. That's for sure. Every game provides a new challenge. South Carolina is going to be a lot different in preparation for them than it was against Mizzou. Different shapes, different personnel changes potentially. So in terms of keeping the players focused, like I said, thankfully I've got a group that trusts what we're doing. So we always talk about all we can do is concentrate on the next game. And that's what we'll do all week in training. And that's what these girls are really good at and become accustomed to. So it doesn't really provide a challenge, providing the players, understand what we're trying to do. So from that standpoint, we're fortunate.
Gonna go off topic for a second. We've talked about Olivia, you're the young one playing soccer. Heard we have a goal scorer on our hands now.
Yeah, she scored her first goal this past weekend. It was a screamer into the top corner from all of about 3 yards. But to be honest, it was awesome. It was the first time that she's really become excited about the game and wanted to talk about it. Unfortunately, I missed it because I was at work, but somebody caught it on video. So I got to see it and rerun all of the events leading up to the goal. So, yep, she's off the mark. So I think she's got 19 more to get to her target goals for the season average.
Yeah, Coach, luckily on a day like yesterday, you were finally able, the season's a grind. It's a sprint, not really a marathon until we get to the spring at least. Heard you're able to get on in the links. How'd you shoot them yesterday?
Well, I definitely took a mental health day yesterday for the first time in a while and urged my staff to do the same thing. Let's just say there was some ups and downs yesterday on the golf course. A lot more downs than ups, to be honest. But it was nice to get out there in the sunshine and the fresh air and not have to think about soccer for a little bit.
Well, Coach, you got a short week to start thinking about South Carolina. The match will be 6 p.m. Central Time on the SEC Digital Network. So tune in if you're not doing anything. If you're ending up your happy hour, come check out the Bulldogs on the Digital Network. Coach, any final words?
Yeah, I just want to thank the fans. It wasn't the nicest of evenings. There was drizzle. It was cold. 110 minutes, and it was amazing to see how many people showed up, but also how loud they were and the fact that they stayed throughout the end. So we couldn't do it without them. I know I say that every week, but we sincerely mean that, and really thankful to the Bulldog family for going out there and supporting us in that weather.
I think I can still hear the cowbells from here, Coach. Thanks for your time, and as always, Hail State.
Thanks, Chris. Hail State.